Tonight is a focus on a viable entity that manages the nation's vast and abundant water resources. The mandate covers surface and underground water as modern and sophisticated tools are now being engaged to provide adequate data on happenings in the water world, including up-to-date flood alerts. That's the Hydrological Services Agency, established in 2010 and has stood tall, providing water security, effective management, and citizen safety from water-related disasters. This is Reshaping Democracy. I'm Ayodeji Makinde. This dynamic and vibrant organization, NIHSA, has at the helm of affairs the Director General, Architect Umar Ibrahim Mohammed. The CEO is a Reshaping Democracy to clearly inform Nigerians that the agency has transformed into state-of-the-art driven service provider.
DG, sir, how is NIHSA enhancing its water resources management strategies to address the increasing demand for water in Nigeria, particularly in the face of climate change?
Well, actually, the agency has been in existence for the past 15 years, and it had done quite a lot, quite much enough to be able to understand the phenomena of water within the country as it's been affected by climate change. Now, what we're doing now is the agency, because of this administration's new renewed hope agenda, to see how to scale up the activities and the deliverables of the mandates of all MDAs in the country. Now, this agency had gotten the opportunity to introduce a far more up-to-date, scaled-up monitoring and observation center. Now, the agency had secured most of the equipment, and very soon, hopefully, we'll get it up and running. Now, this monitoring and observation center actually will give us like a view of the whole nation's water, both surface and groundwater data, and to be able to collect this data and better manage it. The center or the watch room is fully equipped together with GIS monitoring, GIS and remote sensing monitoring equipments, integrating use of artificial intelligence, that is deep machine learning, to be able to give us more accurate forecasts and better visibility on how these water resources, both surface and ground, are being managed, through industrial activities, maybe fertilizer application, farming, that's agriculture, and how the desert is really affecting the water availability in the northern part of the country, that is the water stress area in terms of drought. So this watchroom or observation center will really help us. And at the same time, we have water bodies that are not only within the country. We have water bodies that really affects our social life, like some of the dams that are located in our neighboring countries, and we have River Niger that we share with 8 other countries. So now these are very important bodies that the agency is very concerned and put a watch on it very well.
DG, sir, can you elaborate on NIHSA's current initiatives in generating hydro and geological data, and how is this data utilized to inform water resources management decisions in Nigeria?
Well, the main mandate of the agency is to be able to assess, monitor these water systems, both surface, ground, and transboundary. Now, through that, the agency has we have exactly 8 zonal offices and 16 area offices supporting the 8 zonal offices across the nation. Now, through that, we have a number of equipments monitoring both surface, that's the DPCs, and groundwaters, through our wells, monitoring wells. So, not forgetting the fact that part of the agency's mandate also is concerned with the coastal and marine hydrology. That is how Nigeria is a coastal country, one of the coastal countries in Africa. So we do actually monitor closely how the saline intrusion and likely coastal flooding, and a lot of other areas like that. So through these zonal offices and area 16 area offices, we keep close look and monitor closely the behavior of all our both surface and ground waters, to both man-made activities, industrial activities, climate change. We put all these things together, assess, and come up with some products. Some of these products actually are meant to inform the citizens of Nigeria on how best to either respond to this, to the impact of these activities, or to better plan on how you manage your water, maybe in terms of agriculture or in terms of manufacturing activities.
How effective are NIHSA flood alert system been in mitigating the impact of flooding in Nigeria? And what measures are taken to protect accuracy and rates?
Recently, the Office of the Vice President actually came up with an initiative called the Anticipatory Action, where the main aim of that program is to bring together all the major stakeholders, key players, that's the frontliners, in the disaster risk management and reduction within the country. The Office of the Vice President brought them together, and everybody played his own role, key role, on how to give information, bring out information, disseminate on how best people get prepared, what we call anticipatory. Now, instead of responding to what might have come or what might have happened during flooding, no, now we are now being proactive. We make sure that all necessary concerns are being addressed before the flooding comes up. And at the same time, the agency had done greatly over the past 1 year in improving and scaling up its prediction. The prediction the agency gave this year 2015 has been significantly different from what it had been doing for the past 12 or 13 years. This time around, we introduce AI into our prediction, and the proximity or the accuracy of the product is like almost 90 to 95%, which has been recorded by WMO, UNESCO, and all international bodies. They have testified to that, including Google. Through that, the agency had partnered with Google to issue same forecasts, in areas within the region. So the data coming from the agency really is helpful to Google's ability to forecast, to forecast flooding in the West African region. And the agency is also partnering with UK mates to make sure or to improve on how to best communicate to the at-risk communities.
What partnership has NIHSA established with local and international organizations to support its mandate, and how have this collaboration contributed to the agency's success?
We're having partnership with institutions within the country, almost like quite a number of universities. We have collaboration with them. We have some of our monitoring equipments, both groundwater or weather, climate, weather, what's the name of this thing? We have DPCs installed in some of the institutions. We have a lot of equipments that helps us collect or generate this data. Where we place them really matters because of ravaging or thefts and what have you. So we use the institutions in most cases or government organizations like state water boards or Ministry of Water Resources. So we collaborate with them in most of what we do, that is locally. Internationally, we collaborate with almost all the regional bodies, continental bodies, and the international bodies that has anything to do with water discourse or water governance. We partner, the agency is the Secretariat of UNESCO IHP in Nigeria. The agency is the hydrological advisor to WMO, World Meteorological Organization. We partner closely we work closely, with World Bank, and a lot of international and national bodies. In the country we work, I think we are more closer in terms of the deliverables with NIMET and NEMA. The NIMET gives the weather forecast, the NIHSA gives flood forecast, and NEMA puts all these documents and get prepared and get people mobilized in the likely affected areas, flood-prone areas, to better prepare them against what is about to come. So we also have that partnership. There's NASDRA. We validate some of our data that after ground truthing with the satellite imageries they provide. We work together with Ministry of Agriculture in terms of improving food security in the nation.
Please, can you help discuss efforts in monitoring underground water resources in Nigeria and how this contributes to the overall water security in the country?
The country is divided into two. We have the water stress region, that is the northern part of the country, and the water available, too much availability of water, the south. So that's how the country is being divided. So you notice quite devastating drought taking place in the north, and you see a lot of flooding taking place in the south, particularly towards the end of the rainy season. Bielsa, one of the most devastatingly affected states in the country. You see, usually they schedule time that they will have to evacuate their communities, wait until the water there recedes before they take back. They lose their markets for a period of time, schools, hospitals, so it's terrible. So, but the agency has been doing a lot, trying to see how better to mitigate and reduce the impact of flooding in such communities. Recently, the agency, together with the ecological unit from the office of the SGF's office, were in Bielsa. We went through the 6 geopolitical zones, now probing the most affected regions or states. Bielsa is one of the states the agency picked to go and study and understand how best to reduce the impact of this flooding by either providing maybe river training, dredging, embankments, and what have you. We have done quite a number of studies there, and we are discussing with the office of the secretary to the government, and seeing how to better their livelihood there. At the same time, the agency had done quite a number of studies in Jigawa, Kogi, Sokoto. Currently, through Jeff, we are also doing a river training program where one of the river Sokoto and Rima met, and one of the rivers diverted for quite a number of years. So we are currently, as we speak now, retraining that river and to see that that river takes back its natural course, because we have identified water deflation from the aquifers. Instead of getting water at maybe 4, 6, 7 meters, you have to go to like almost 20, 30 meters depth before you get water. Now, economically, it's not viable to the farmers there. It's difficult. It's not economically sound for them to be able to tap water from those aquifers. So we are trying to see how to restore this deflated water from deflated groundwaters there in Sokoto Wamako area, in particular within Wamako local government.
DG sir, what strategies is your agency employing to raise public awareness about the importance of water conservation and the mitigating challenges of climate change?
The agency had been having quite a number of engagements. Recently, almost at the end of this year's rainy season, the agency conducted a validation and sensitization program. We went across so many states, I think about 8 states, if I'm not mistaken, to probe the quality of the waters and the availability of waters within those states. And I think I even made a press statement because of the concern raised by the assessment we did on the quality of the waters. We became scared, and we quickly called and made a press statement. Particularly in Lagos, Kogi, and I think Sokoto. Those are the states that we have informed them on the dangers and the likely diseases that might spring up because of what we saw in the water. We intend to do that across the nation, and the agency intends to start even giving focus on the water quality of the nation. Now, the availability of water, actually, we have been having this network of monitoring wells across the nation, and certainly the availability of water, it's for now is safe, but going forward, the agency is really skeptical and is scared because on how boreholes are being dug in the country, we are really concerned, because we've been trying to take the borehole inventory, within the country. We've been trying to do so, but it's a bit difficult. But what we are getting actually is almost getting out of control.
So in what ways Nigerian Hydrological Service Agency engage with local communities to promote campaign towards environmental sustainability, flood disaster management and preparedness?
Well, thank you, Hamza. I think particularly in Jigawa, I myself personally have visited Jigawa 2 times. I met with the governor, and I met with about 6 commissioners, and we were taken to the flood affected local governments, and we've seen how flood had ravaged settlements. The major problem, or the major flooding issue there, there are quite a number of dams, in Kano State and along the Komadugu Yobe watershed area. It's relatively a flat terrain, so now you have very high volume of runoff water when the rain is intense or when there is prolonged rainfall. So that mostly affects or brought about flooding in the state. And we have identified some of the water bodies, like some of the dams that actually spill over to some of the communities that have to really relocate. And we've also identified that the water there does not recede immediately. It takes time, so it recedes slowly. So the water percolation there also needs to be checked. Maybe some injection wells need to be dug so that to help evacuate these waters that are piled up, during this flooding. Quite a number of infrastructures, dredging, river training. I will not say dam because there are quite a number of dams there, but the agency had been engaging with Jigawa state government closely. Quite a number of times. I think their commissioners have been here, and through ACRISAL we've been meeting, and we have been working together, and we've been informing Jigawa of the impending danger of flooding.
DG sir, are the nation vast dams under NIHSA purview? How many hydrological stations are operating and maintained nationwide?
Well, by WMO standards, we are supposed to have nothing less than 480, but at the moment we have about 370 stations, that are monitoring, and we are still trying to do more. In fact, I think by now, even the WMO standards of 480 is less, should be less, because we have identified so many rivers that just suddenly came up, and because of the watershed nature of such environments, so we need to actually put a close eye on those rivers. Dams are not under NIHSA. They are under a department of dams from the Ministry of Water Resources. They are the custodians of the water bodies. Our concern is just the water in the dam. So we are actually monitoring the sediment within the dams, and trying to see that the dam protocols are being adhered to, and making sure that the dams are safe, not to have water overflow and probably maybe dam breakage. So the agency is actually working closely with the Ministry of Water Resources, Dams Department, to make sure that the hydrological component, that is the water there, is safe within the environment.
15 years on, NIHSA is in tune with global trends using GIS remote sensing facilities and artificial intelligence for a more accurate, focused, and reliable data. New tools in place, partnerships with regional bodies, academia, global water monitors have assisted NIHSA in the scaling up of water management in Nigeria. With over 370 hydrological stations nationwide, more are underway to meet international standards and emerging new river systems. That's Reshaping Democracy. I'm Ayodeji Makinde. See you same time next week. Bye-bye.